Thanks for tuning in to another video, and today I have the iFLYTEK AINOTE Air 2, and there are a lot of features packed into this device. Now of course it is an e-reader, but it is an open e-reader, so you have the Google Play Store, so you're not locked into any specific ecosystem. You can download and use any of your favorite reading apps, Kindle, Kobo, Libby, anything you want. Then we have some great scheduling features, to-do lists, and general organization options. It also has first-class note-taking abilities, and it can convert your handwritten notes to text. I'll say a lot more about that later. But the game changer is that it has all of these features and it can record text, transcribe, and translate. It can convert 83 languages from your handwriting to text. It can record 15 languages for transcription, and it can translate up to 10 languages. So I think this is really helpful if you're taking notes for a meeting, or if you're a student and you want to record a lecture, or I thought this would also be great if you had to interview or evaluate people and you needed to keep the records of those discussions, or you might need to refer back to them at some point. You could also have the AINOTE Air 2 give you an AI summary after you're done with your interview or your lecture or whatever you're working on, and this makes note-taking very easy. I'll get into more details on that in a moment. For those of you that watch the channel regularly, you know that I love unique products that add new and useful features that are not just available on other devices. I really like this device and I wanted to review it, and I want to thank iFLYTEK for finally answering back my emails and offering this product for review. But of course, all the ideas and opinions in this video are mine alone. I wish I had some more help, but it's just me. So this is the real-time voice-to-text translation, and it's great for recording a meeting, an interview, a lecture, or whatever you want to do. So if you look up here, you can see there's a little graph here, and it shows you which person would be talking. So if you're seated at a table, and again, you're in a meeting, you could kind of do something like this, and you can kind of see who's in the meeting, like this, and then when the mic lights up, you can see who is talking. Now, of course, you could always refer back to the original audio recording, but it would be nice to do this as well, and then again, you could see what's going on and who said what, which is really nice. Now, I'm just going to show you a sample of this. I'm going to just play some news here, and I'll show you how this works.
Sustained 140 miles per hour, wind speeds at 115.
See that.
He is expected to downgrade and weaken in our cooler waters for the Central Pacific. Expected to be a tropical storm as he passes over it right now. The track looks to be about north, and they could be pretty certain about that already as he's getting a bit closer. One variation looks like he could go south, but the probability is most of the paths and the models that we're taking a look at is that he is going north. So tropical storm status will still be.
Now, you could also take notes for a particular part during the meeting. So if there was something that was being discussed and it was very important, you could put in here, pay attention. And now we're going to have this just keep going for a minute.
That's some good news, but tropical storm status nonetheless could bring in some heavier wind speeds, of course, and some rain showers. So have that hurricane preparedness kit ready, at least 2 weeks of supplies over the weekend.
So you saw when I wrote this, and if this was a particular part that I had to pay attention to, and again, there was a half an hour or an hour lecture here, and there's a lot of words, and I have a bunch of notes here, and there was a couple of points that I wanted to pay attention to, or, I wanted to, hey, look this up further, or review this later, or something like that. And then let me just click finish here. And now if I click where I wrote this, it will take me right to the text where that was. That was being discussed, and it was very important. Right there. So that wasn't right in the beginning. It was right. So if there was being discussed, and it was very takes me right to the spot that it was that I wanted to pay attention to. So that's really awesome. And again, you can play this whole thing back. You have the text right here if you want to review that later. And now I could also click up here for this AI generated summary. So if I just click here, it's going to summarize the meeting right here. I just hit continue. So this is the summary of that little discussion there. So this would be really critical if I was, again, listening to a meeting or a lecture or something like that, and it gives me the bullet points very quickly and easily. Now, if I want to go to the original, I just click on this, and here's my original, and then here's my notes that I had. So this, like I said, is really powerful for anyone who needs to be in a meeting and record the important information. If you're a student trying to figure out everything that's going on in the lecture, or if you're in an interview and, again, you're interviewing other people, maybe for a job or something like that, this records everything perfectly, and you can always go back to it at any point, which is really nice. And this could be saved to the AI Note app on your phone. So you can have access to this on a tablet or a phone or any other device that you can get the app from. And we just go back here. And we're going to go back to the beginning here. And this is where all your notes are. So you could sort these and change the label and all that kind of stuff so you can find them very easily. You can also make folders on here. This is not a full tutorial of this device, but I just wanted to show you all the features so that if you were thinking about buying it, you could see everything that it does. Now, let's get into the scheduling part. Let me click on this, and this is our schedule. So we'll have all the notes that I did today. If I had any reminders or to-do lists, it will show it right here. Then I have the calendar, right? I could do the week, I could do the month, and I could see everything that is there. Let me just go back to here. Now, if I want to make a new appointment, I just do this. And now, I wish I could write in this box, but you can't, so you gotta write down here. Let's say, go to store. And, I mean, look at that. You saw how terrible that handwriting was, and it gets it perfectly, so that's really nice. Now we can go ahead and confirm it. Now that's on my schedule, okay? Now it's all day for right now, but if I want to have a specific time for that, which you probably do, you click on this, and now you can put in the time. Now the only, there's very few cons of this device, believe me. I know it's a sponsored video, but there really is very few cons on this. The only thing I noticed, a couple of things I noticed is on the scheduling, you could pick the date right here. So you could pick the time right here, but you have to click that for all day off. Now you pick the time. There's no AM and PM, so you have to do it in 24-hour notation, which, maybe not everyone's familiar with. But if you click on this, if we do, 11 o'clock, I can confirm it. And now it's at 11 o'clock. I could also set a reminder and put a remark, whatever I want there. But the reminder, this is the other negative thing, is that you can have a reminder here, but when the time comes for this event to happen, 20 minutes early, a day early, whatever you want to do, then you just get a little drop down on the top here saying, hey, go to the store or attend the meeting or whatever you were doing. And there's no chime or anything like that. So it's great if you were on the device and, you'd see that drop down pretty easily. But if this was closed up or if it was in your bag or something like that, you wouldn't get any notification. But the other nice thing about this is that this will sync with your Google account. So you could have your events here, you type them up, and then maybe you want to leave this at home, you just want to take your phone with you or something like that. You can do that, and all the events you have typed in on your phone are on this. So it syncs bidirectionally. The phone is nice, but then you got to enter it keypad-wise. On this one, I could write out my handwritten notes, and some people work better with that. So I can make my schedule the night before, I could just write down everything that I'm going to do, and then I could sync this with my phone because this will sync with Google Calendar. So if I just click down here, and then you get this. I got to blur out my account here, but you can add your Google Calendar. So whatever you have synced with your Google, you could bring it right here. Now, when you do set up the sync, it is not immediate. It does take a few minutes for it to take effect. So if you're wondering why isn't it working or what's going on, just give it a little time and it will sync up. And then the information that you type into here will be transferred to your Google Calendar. So you'll be able to view that on your phone, your tablet, computer, whatever you want. And then any information that you enter on those devices will be available on here. Now, if it is typed in on the Google account on your phone or tablet or something like that, you're going to get a little G here. I don't know if you could see that. I'll just magnify that. But that's how you know it went from the Google Calendar to over here. And then, of course, you could edit and do everything you want just like you could before, right? And then I have an event that I entered in for today. And you can see it looks the same, except you don't have that G. But you could edit the information just like you could before. And you remember how I told you when you do get a reminder on the device here, you get a little drop down that just tells you, hey, in 10 minutes you got this event to get to or something like that. And it doesn't make any chime. But if you have this synced with your phone, then you could set up your phone to ring or chime or vibrate or, whatever you want to do, and you'll get the alerts through that. So that's kind of a way around this. As long as you sync your events that you type in here, you will get all the notifications that you want, and you can set the notifications on this device or on the phone. And let me just show you what it looks like on the phone. So you can see here again, test 2, test 2. This one I created on the AI Note 2 and it got transferred over here. This event I typed in on the phone and then it got synced to the AI Note 2. And you can see here there's that little G. But again, everything else looks exactly the same. And if I wanted to, let me go back to this one. This was the test 2 that I had. That's test 2. And if you look here, I could set up any notification or reminder or whatever I want to do, just like any other event. So it syncs perfectly. Now, another thing is we got the to-do list right here. So this is just nice. You just put things that you need to do. I have Post-its. I used to have Post-its all over the place. And when I got this device and other devices like this, but it just made my life much easier because I just write down everything here. And, sometimes I don't get to take care of these things on that day, so they just kind of carry forward. Then I could delete them as I do them. And there's just a running list of things I have to take care of. So that is kind of nice. I also have this little focus star area here. So if there's something that you want to focus on or spend time doing, you could notate it here. Now you can add things very easily. I'm just going to go to the to-do list here. Okay, so let me go into the new to-do. I just add that. And you can't type up here. You got to type it down here. But let's see here. Go to the store. Now, believe it or not, I'm actually trying to write neatly there. But you saw how terrible it was. And it did actually register it perfectly. Now I'm just going to confirm this. And there you go, right up the top there. Now, if I want to keep seeing my to-dos and what I did, sometimes that gives me motivation to keep going. If I just click on this, it shows that it's completed, right? But if I just want to get rid of it, I could just have it deleted like that and just delete. And there you go. And I will show you how to add events to your to-do list from the note page. I'll show you how to do that in a moment, and you can do it very quickly. Now, as I hinted to before, this device does have a camera right back here, and you have a little flash there, and this is a 5 megapixel camera, which is not for picture taking, this is just for scanning documents into your device. Then you can write on the PDF, make notes, you could sign it, then you could email it or share it or whatever you want to do. So that's a nice feature. Let me just show you how this works. We just need to get into the document, which is right up here. I'll magnify that. Just got to click on that. And I did a couple here, and they didn't come out too good because I was trying to do it behind the camera, and you got to pull it up to take the photo. So I'm just going to take the photo, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And all you need to do is here, hit create a new scan. So there we go. So you can see I captured the image, and this did this automatically. So it's cutting off the extra stuff here, and it's only including the document, which is really nice. And if it didn't do it perfectly, then I could just move these things in and out and adjust it however I want to do. But like I said, it did it automatically, and it did it very well, I think. Let's just confirm it. And so now this is the document right there. And so now I can write on this. So if I want to point something out, or if change this, whatever I want to do, or if I just want to sign it, right? I could do that. Now I could share this. Okay, so let me just show you the couple of the icons up here. This is the one that you share. This is the one that you probably most likely do. You could create a scan code, or you could just email it, right? Then if you click on this icon, this is the first one. So it will generate notes, and then you can go ahead and save it if you want. We're not going to do that right now. And if we click on this, now it's creating a PDF. So again, now you got the PDF that you can send this, and some companies want a signed document only in PDF form or whatever like that. You can do it right here. You don't have to change it in any other device or sync it to your computer and then change it back or anything like that. Really easy to do right here. And then if you did crop it wrong, you can go like this, and then you could adjust your crop and fix it to wherever you want. And then now if you have more than one page, right, all you need to do is hit this, and now we could take another picture, right? And then we could do multiple documents in here, or multiple pages. So this works really well, and it could be a number of different uses. At the very least, you could use this definitely to sign a document. So I think this is really useful. Leave it in the comments if you think this would be helpful. What other e-reader has a document scanner that you could do this stuff with? I mean, this does have multiple features on here that makes it much more than just an e-reader, which is really nice. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's keep going with the video. Now I'm going to leave the specs in the description here. I'm going to go over just a few things here and go over some of the hardware, but I want to show you how this compares with other devices. So this is our iFLYTEK. Let me get my plant out of the way here. And this is the Kindle paperwhite. And you can see the size of the change there. Now this has a much bigger screen, but you could also see the size of the bezels on the Kindle. This looks like it's 5-year-old technology, right? I mean, look at the bezels on this. And again, look at the screen size you're going to get. Very big change there. But that's the size. So this is still very portable. It basically is portable as a regular e-reader, but you're getting so many extra features on it. So that's really nice. Now let's just talk about the thickness here. I don't know if that shows up on the video that well. Sorry about that. But the iFLYTEK is actually thinner than this. Now this is also competing with the note-taking devices like the Remarkable and the Kindle Scribe. And I like this one actually more because this gives me plenty of real estate to write things, but it's much more portable. So let me just show you the size difference here. This is the Kindle Scribe. This is the original, but the second one is the same exact size. But again, you could notice the bezels on here. These are all nice and symmetrical and thin. And again, you can see the devices here. This one is much more portable. And you do get microphones and speakers on this and a lot more stuff than the Kindle Scribe. And these are the pens you get. This is the AINOTE AIR 2 pen, and this is the Kindle Scribe on top there. You can see that just a little difference in size. Let me line that up a bit better. This is actually, just a little smaller. You do get an eraser on both of them, and this is the premium pen for the Kindle Scribe. So having this included in the device without having to pay extra for it is really nice. You do get a button on the AINOTE AIR 2 pen. Same thing with the Kindle Scribe, but again, this is the premium pen here. And I'll show you what this button can do and how to use this device and how to customize it just a little bit. So again, I just wanted to show you the size differences between the devices. This actually, I think, is a real happy medium here. It gives you all the real estate I think you need, and then it makes this much more portable and easier to carry around. And this device is designed to be carried around with you. It has your schedule, your to-do list, it has all your note-taking abilities on here. So this is designed to be with you all day and basically organize your life a little bit. So it's nice. I think this is a good size for it. Now let me just show you a couple of things here. It does have little clips here, and the case clips in here perfectly, which is really nice. And on the top here, you got the charger with an indicator light. Not every device has that. I do like having that just to let me know that it is definitely charging. You got the power button up here, but this is also a fingerprint reader. How many e-readers have fingerprint readers? That's really nice. Then this is the side here, nothing going on there. And that's the bottom. Now this is an 8.2-inch Carta 1000 HD display, and it has a resolution of 1440 by 1920 with a PPI of 293. And the screen has a matte finish on here like most e-readers, and it's just really nice and easy to read. It's very detailed, the fonts look great. And again, the premium pen, this is the only option they have, I believe. But this is included. You do get an eraser on here, you get the smart button, and it's basically just like writing on regular paper, I think. It felt like to me, at least. So let's go into notes here. And we're just going to click write. And now you can just write whatever you want. Minimal latency there. You could also have, the pressure sensitivity is 4096 levels of pressure sensitivity. So I could do this very lightly and then make it darker if I want. Let me make it a darker pen so it's a little more obvious. Let's do this. Then if I do this nice and light, then I can get nice and dark. You can see there. You could draw on this if you wanted to, but basically this is just for note-taking. And I'll show you this a little more in a second, but if you just swipe down from the top, you're going to get your quick toggles, and then I'm going to go into more settings. And then this is in keys and gestures. Custom pen body button. Let's just click on that. I'll just show you the options here. So you could erase selection. So basically you could, circle something and then delete it if you wanted to. You could have it as the smart pen mode. You can see what that does. You could have it as an eraser, which you probably don't need to, or you could just disable it. I don't know, maybe hitting it by accident or something like that. So those are the choices that you have for the smart pen. And this will just stick on the back here. Actually, pretty strong magnet. But of course, it's not going to stay on if you throw this in your bag or something like that. So you'd be a little protective with it. But it does stay on pretty nice if this was in your house or, you're on the table or something like that. So this way you don't lose it. And there is a case that comes with this that held this in better. But again, that is a great option that you have there. And there's also no charging needed on this. So there's no issues worrying about a dead battery or anything like that. This is just a passive device, and it works really well. And then you do get 4 microphones on here, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and then you do have a speaker on here. And with the 4 mics, it's able to capture the directionality, like I showed you. So if you had this and people around the table were talking, you'd be able to tell their location on the little graph there because of the 4 microphones. Now you could also pair a keyboard with this with Bluetooth if you wanted to do that. You do get 4 gigabytes of RAM on this and 32 gigabytes of storage with about 21 gigabytes usable, which is plenty, I think. But if you do have a lot of recordings, you might start running out of space. But you could always share these to other devices if you wanted to. You do get Wi-Fi 6 on here and Bluetooth 5.0. The battery size is 2600 milliamp hours, which I have to take their word for it. But iFLYTEK says that you get a standby time of 108 days on this, and you can get up to 7 days under daily use. Okay, so let me show you some of the e-reading functions on this. So these are the sections on the top here. I'm going to show you a little bit in the navigation in a minute. But you got the notes, you got your scheduling section, you got your reading section, which basically is just the iFLYTEK books and things like that, and things you might have downloaded to the device. Then this is the document scanner. This is if you want to email something. This is the app section that I'm going to show you in a second. And this is the settings wheel that you can get to also by swiping down and hitting more settings. But let me show you the reading part here. And then this is the bookshelf. These are the books I have here. Now, I don't want to tell you this, but there is actually a user manual on this device. And it's actually pretty detailed. It shows you just about everything on here. So if you have any questions, you just go through here and it'll show you everything that is available, which is really nice. Then there also is, again, shouldn't really share all this because I don't want you to bail out on my video here. But if you go to iFLYTEK's website, they actually have a whole bunch of specific questions and a bunch of answers on how to use the device if you're running into any trouble at all. And you can also leave a comment for me, and I will do my best to catch up with you. All right, let's get back to our reading tab here. So if you downloaded any books, this is where they would be. And this is the bookstore that's included here. There's a lot of, several books in here, but they're obviously older ones. If you have some nostalgia for the classics, you can go ahead and read those. But if the really nice thing about this is if you go into this little icon up here, it will take you to the app page. I don't think it had it when it first released, but it now does have the Google Play Store. So you could download any app you want. Now, the other thing is you could just download a browser. So if you want to read at night, you want to go through your news or something like that, or you want to catch up on an article or read some sports, whatever you want to do, you could use this device instead of looking at your phone. So this nice e-ink display here might be a little more comfortable for your eyes, and it might help you sleep just a little bit better. No promises on that, but just putting it out there. Now, the other con I found about this device, you can't specify the e-ink details, so you can't tell it to refresh every 5 page turns or 10 page turns or never if you want to save some battery, or maybe every page if you want a real detailed, crisp screen here. You can't change the display on that at all. But I haven't had any issues. I mean, you saw how many pages I went through here, and look how clear this is. I mean, this is all white and nice. So I'm not exactly sure what the refresh rate is, but it works great. I just like to have that extra customization, which you don't have on this. But you will get it in the app. So if the app has that feature on there, then you could obviously set it with that. Now, this is the Kindle app. And of course, if you have a different app or so, then in that app, you're able to customize the refresh rate and your font sizes and all that kind of stuff based on the app. So really not too much of an issue because the refresh rates and the font sizes and things like that are probably really only an issue when you are doing some e-reading. So again, there's a workaround basically. But I just wanted to show you, this is the size of the screen, and this is chapter 1. I don't even remember what book it was. I just took one at random here that was in my library. And you could just see how much print is available there and look at the screen. This is just much nicer with those little fonts to look at. Real nice. So just wanted to show you the difference there. So you even get a better e-reading experience on this device, I think. Now there is a backlight on here, so let me just show you that. There is 4 quick toggles here. So you can turn it off, low light, dark, and then you could have a custom here. And if you want to customize your setting, let's do it. And we're just going to go into general here, click on that, and then the brightness, we click on this. And again, you got the cold light. So you could do whatever you want there, or the warm light, which is really nice. Not every e-reader has the warm and cold lights. The only thing this one is missing is the auto brightness, but again, you could adjust that pretty easily here. And then whatever your custom setting is, that would be set up right here. So then again, you could toggle it on real quick, do the low light real fast, the dark. You can make your adjustments as you want to. Let's do low light. How's that? Okay, so I'm in the note-taking portion of the device here, and you can see all my notes here, just a lot of tests and things I was fooling with. But if you want to get into a note-taking really quick, you just hit write. And then just go ahead and write, do whatever you want. But just show you a couple of things here. You could pick a template. There's a bunch of templates that you can pick here. So you got these, and then you actually have 2 pages of this. So there you go, there's one more on there. Then if you go to document, this is what you have. And again, you have 2 little turns here. So a lot of different things that you could have as your template. This is analysis here. We got style. And again, you could scroll through a whole bunch of these things. So there's a lot of different things that you have for templates. Now, we've got my handwritten text here. I could have it translated. Just hit OCR. And it's saving it. And there it goes. Okay, not exactly. It missed this one over here, but, you know, you really can't fault them. Look at that sloppiness. But basically, it has your handwriting text converted into regular text, which is really nice. And then, of course, if something got a little wrong, you can go ahead and edit it and, you know, change it and do what you want. And it'll actually show you what part you're editing, which is nice. Now, the other nice thing about this is if you want, you could have it translate into text line by line. So if you just click this little icon right here, you get this thing, which looks very similar, but you don't have the template like you had before. And if you just tap anywhere here to activate it, now I'm writing down here and it's going to automatically put it into text up there. So again, I really like to go to the store. So let's do that. And it just translates it right up there perfectly. So you don't have to handwrite everything. If you really like to do your letters and you like to type it out like on a keyboard, you can just click on this and then again, do what you want there. It does give you the option for that, but it's just so much easier just to write it. And you could just save your handwriting if you want, and then you can read your own handwriting, hopefully. But then you could also just convert it to text. You could save this and share this. So I do like handwriting my notes. And again, I used to have Post-its all over the place. I just, you know, things to do for the day, things I have to remember, or little ideas I have, whatever. And if I want, I could, well, actually, let me show you, because I could actually sync this with the AI note. So let me just show you that really quick. And then I'll come back to this for the last section. Okay, so this is the AI Note app here. Now, it doesn't store everything on here, basically just your notes. But if you click on here, there we go. That's the note I just had. So that's synced. This is the text recording that I had in the beginning of the video. It's right there. But then if I just click on this, there we go. So I have my handwritten notes. So if I wanted to leave my AI Note Air 2 at home, I have this on my phone, my tablet, whatever I want. I have all my stuff here. Now I can't edit this. You know, that would have been a little extra feature. So the other thing I wanted to tell you, I forgot to mention actually, is that it has excellent palm rejection. So here I am, you know, I'm writing, nothing's happening over here, which is nice. And it's just like writing on paper. I mean, this is perfect, very easy to do. I feel like they came up with a good compromise on having enough real estate to write everything and making it a nice portable device. But now there's also a couple extra features that I didn't show you. If you hit this button on the pen and you circle something, you get these options. So I could add this to my to-do list if I want, real easy. And then I could do an AI search if I want to do that. And then I can clear it, or I could just cancel this. A couple more things I just wanted to show you here. I could have a bunch of notes on here. Again, imagine there's a bunch of words on here. I don't want to take time by writing stuff out. Okay, so go to store. Now I have notes here and I said, oh boy, I just need to get to that to-do list. I don't have to go back to the to-do list to actually add this. I just have to hit the button here and circle it. And then you can see here, it's going to add this to my to-do list. And it's also going to change it into handwriting, from my handwriting to text. So let's show you that. I'm going to go out of here and hit it again to save it and go back. Now we got to go into schedule. And I'm going to go to calendar first, because you can see here it says go to store. So these are my notes for today. But if I go to my to-do list, go to store, there we go. So just great kind of organization feature that you have there. Okay, now another thing is you could be maybe working on something here and you got a lot of notes and you don't want to kind of get out of it and you just want to make a quick note for something. Well, you just, this little icon over here, you just swipe this way and it's going to open up your quick tab here. So I already have some. Let's erase that. But here, this is quick notes and I can just write whatever I want. And then I close it and I'm back to my notes. Now another option here is you have ChatGPT hooked up with this built in. So if I just do this and swipe over this way, so you can see here, these are a couple of options here. I can just click on one just so I could show you here. It'll generate, the question I asked here was explain black holes. That was the prompt that they had there. Now it takes a little while to load up here. But again, it's going to give you your answer that you're looking for, which is really nice. Okay, now let me stop this. So I just clicked on a new chat here and I just got to tap it And for this one, you can't actually do the handwriting. You got to write something out here. Okay, it does have an autocorrect there, which is really nice. And we'll just do that. We'll send it. But you can see what happens here. It's going to give you your answers that you want. It does take a little while for it to kind of put everything out there. But again, you still get it, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and stop that. Okay, so now I am going to show you some basic navigation of this device. So you're in, whatever you're in here, if you just swipe up, it'll basically take you into your recents, and then you can get back to whatever you were working on if you wanted to. Or you could just, and you could trash them if you want, or you could just click the X here, and then you get back to your main page. So, you know, you got the notes, the schedule, your reading, all your icons up there. So that's how you get out of something if you'd like to. And then again, if you were working on notes and then you were working on your schedule, you just swipe up and you'll get all your recents, which is really nice. You got the ChatGPT if you swipe over this way. This does your quick chat, and you could open that up anywhere. I went through all the icons on this device, so I'm not going to spend any more time on that. But if you went to settings, I'll just show you this. It brings up your settings, which is actually not too much to do here. You got the general. You can see here you could change your wallpaper if you want. I did put that little signature on the front. Let me just click on that to show you. And these are your options that you have. You know, a few different things that you could do there. And you could change your signature, which is basically just what you write on there. So you can modify that if you want. I wrote the awesome if you couldn't tell. So let's get out of this. Then the brightness was up here that I told you about. You could have your battery percentage show, and that's right up here, if you could see that. Let me move that up here on the camera. There you go, right in the corner there. And, you know, even though the font is very small, you're able to see it just fine. But you could turn that off if you don't want to, but I'm going to keep showing it. And then we got screen rotation, so you could do this in landscape mode if you want to. We got our auto lock and auto shutdown if you want to save your battery. This is where you customize your pen, and it will tell you about your gestures. And then you do get a quick bar down here that if you are in, it doesn't work in every app, but if you scroll like this, it will move through a bunch of pages at once, which I didn't really find that useful, but some people might like that. You got your security here. Again, you do have a fingerprint scanner on here, which is really nice. And then you got a password lock, and you could make no lock if you don't want to do that. Then the only other thing is if you are in notes, let's start a new note here. And so I did something. And I don't want to do that. If I just swipe with 3 fingers to the left, it will erase that, or it would undo whatever I just did, basically. And so there it goes. And if I did a couple of things, and I do the 3 fingers, I just go back, it's going to undo the last one. And if oh no, I didn't really want to delete that, 3 fingers the other way, it gets added back. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay, so what does everyone think? I thought this was actually a great device. I really like it. What do you think? I went through all the features detailed enough? Do you want more details? Do you have any questions? Leave it in the comments. And I'll leave a link in the description where you can buy this, and there will be a discount for you. I would be interested in hearing your thoughts, and I'm sure other people would too. So please leave it in the comments, subscribe, like the video hopefully, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.